And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success Morning Coffee. We're back. Before we get started, if you are looking to refinance your home and you live in the Treasure Valley in the Boise, Idaho area, or are in Oregon and would like to get that done, please give a friend Sean Loveland at Castle and Cook a phone call, 208-447-7205. Interest rates are dropping. I'm waiting a little bit longer on mine, but we will be refinancing our house because, well, we need to get her done. Need to save a little bit of money. Maybe you have financed your home at a higher interest rate and save a little bit of money. If it goes down a point, you're going to save yourself quite a bit. So, I think it's been about a week since I have hopped on here. What's up, Nikki? Got a lot of people joining TikTok. If this is your first time joining Morning Coffee, I've been trying to do this every single day. Wednesday, we do a little episode with my friend Robert Watson, who's got a book coming out. It's got to be coming out here pretty quick. They are getting really close to release it. It comes out on Amazon first as a ebook. It's kind of nice because books are now print on demand, and at some point I'm going to write one. We will get there. But it has been interesting for me. There's a lot of things going on in my life that some of them I can talk about, some of them I can't, and I'm just trying to keep moving forward. And last week's a little bit of difficult. My son is 2 years old, for those of you who have been with us for a while. He's 2. And he is a little bit different. I don't know. My wife said, hey, maybe Tatum was that way. And I didn't know that might have a 10-year-old as well. She's like, I just don't remember. Did we just forget that that's the way that she was? But he wakes up in the middle of the night. And my life is pretty much planned out, like my day. Like if you think about and you break it down on a micro level, the way that I do things, I have gotten, like this morning, I got up, I'm here. I told myself I was going to be here today. I have a day off today, which a lot of people don't get President's Day off because it's President's Day, but I actually have it off, and I was going to sleep in again. But my alarm is set to go Monday through Friday off at 4:15 every single morning, which is normal. I mean, I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but that's what I do. So I, wake up at 4:15. I go get the coffee going. I sit down, I have a cup or two, and then I come out here and get things ready to go. This is my studio. Like I have my own little studio where I can record, which is nice because I don't have to be in the middle of everything going on over there. It's basically a little office, but I had him do all the soundproofing, and then I put in all my panels, and I have some in front of me and all that stuff. Anyway, I come out here and I do this, and I've been doing this. I think we're almost to episode 30 this year, and previous years I did an interview a week. That's what I did. But I've decided that I want to do this daily. So I come out here and I do that. Then I go back in about 6 o'clock. I get in the shower and I go, what's up, Jen? How are you? And I get ready for work. Typically my first appointment for my day job is at 9 o'clock. My hope was that I've been doing this for, this is year 5, right? So this is season 5, I guess, because I call the seasons by the year, but this is the 5th year that I've done the podcast. And it hasn't gotten real far. I've gotten a lot of downloads. I met a lot of great people, which I wouldn't take back any of that, but I'm trying to find another way to make it work, right? Because there's a lot of things going on that just don't happen. And people look at you and they think, oh man, they see you. So like if you look on TikTok, I got like 23.5K followers. You look on Instagram, I got 3,000. Everywhere else, kind of just sporadic. But the idea is to get hundreds of downloads on each episode, right? Thousands of downloads, like to be the number one podcaster or whatever. That's the goal. Now you may look at it and go, well, this guy is never going to be that. Or you may look at it and go, this guy's already got that. It doesn't matter. That's not the deal. So, but what's been going on is I've been working on that and trying to do that over and over again. And I've come to a point where I have everything that I need in this room to keep going the way that I'm going. And hopefully one day it will grow. There are a lot of people who do podcasts. It's like, I hear this every single day and I think about it. It's like, everyone's got a podcast. And it's funny because there are a lot of podcasts out there. When I started this, I got into this group of podcasters talking to people in this group. And there was like probably 20, 30 people in the group. And we all started making this podcast thing, this group or whatever. And we talked every single day. It turned into a Discord. Discord got really annoying to me. And then at one point, the guy who was running it didn't even have a podcast anymore, but he was running this podcasting group and started kicking people out one by one if they said something they didn't like. And it didn't matter what it was. Like, you could say that you believed in God. Like, there was people in there who were having like a Christian podcast. There were people in there who were having motivational podcasts like I am. People have cars and culture podcasts like my friend Jay. But one by one, when someone said something that they didn't like, they just ran them and kicked them out. You're part of this group, you're a team lead, then they kick you out because you said something that they didn't like. And it's funny because I have some really good friends on here that do things, and just because of their beliefs in certain things, they ran them out, which I think is bullshit, because we have to be willing to accept everyone. You know, if they weren't threatening to kill someone, if they weren't like being like racist or something, whatever. But the person who was in charge took it into his to start running people, which was great. It was fine. It was the greatest thing I did. I met a ton of good people, but I met a really good group of 4 people. And I talked to one of those people every single day. The other one we talked to time to time. And then the third one, he's a friend of mine, but I just don't know where he's at. And, you know, you got to reach out to those people sometime. But it helped me do a lot of things. Like, I'm wearing this shirt right now that says Move Forward, right? My friend Jay makes this shirt for me, and I sell them. Well, they're for sale. It's funny because a lot of stuff doesn't really sell. But you got to market it, right? And you got to work on, like, one of the things that I've been trying to do is have like this website, which is kind of, you know, it's there, but it's not there. So the shirt is I'm going to take the website off of the shirt, and it's just going to say Move Forward on it, and it'll have the SWC, which is Success Warrior Crew. My friend Brian, who is Warriors Collection. What's up, Sharon? Good to see you. Here on TikTok has, you know, he's been on my show multiple times, and we realize that every single one of us can be a warrior in our own way. And to me, I'm a success warrior because I'm trying to look for ways to be successful and trying to help people see that success is brought in and out by you. It's your choice. You're the person who decides what your success is, no matter what it is. Doesn't mean that you have to have a ton of money. Doesn't mean you have to have a bunch of cars, all that crap. It just means that success is made by you. You create it. If you want to be the best burger flipper in the world, you can do that. And I hate that I always go to that, hey, if you want to be the best burger flipper. But the thing is people are happy with whatever they do. If your job was to build sandcastles, you'd be the best damn sandcastle builder in the world. That's success, right? It is. It is an individual, Jen. Exactly. So that's it. Build your sandcastle, but do the best you can. And that's where my life has always been. It's going down the path of being the best me that I can be, the best version of myself, being better today than I was yesterday. And that is my hope, that every day everyone tries to do that, because whether you are successful or not, whether you get that success piece right away, or if not, you are moving forward and you're trying to reach out to be successful. So that's where I'm at. You know, I'm trying to keep being better every day. And that's all there is to it. We have to continue to keep trying and keep moving forward. And part of that, you know, one of the things is, you know, like I mentioned, so because I live my life the way that I do, like every minute is planned out. We all know that the plan doesn't always go as planned, right? Things can be a little bit more detrimental to someone who does that. Things like, we talked about this not last week, the week before, my work truck breaking down, right? My work truck is my office. I'm very good at what I do, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I sell a couple $1 million a year in window coverings. I make a decent living. But when you get something taken away that you are very used to, so like, it's funny, if you go into my truck, it like has everything where it's supposed to be. I sit in my chair, I do my quotes. It's completely, I have this process that I do that I'm always trying to make better over and over again. because it can cost me money. There are things that can, if I mismeasure a window, it could cost me money. So I put this process in place that is exactly how I need it to be. And then when wrenches get thrown into the situation, like my truck breaking down, I have to move my office into a temporary office, right? It makes things tough. So my truck broke down a couple weeks ago. It really made me, the dealership gave me a Ford Focus to drive, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do my job in here? That's all there is to it, you know? We'll talk about that. That's awesome, Sharon. We'll talk about that in a second here. But the reality is that was wrenched. So you have to decide what you're going to do. Like, I could just say, you know what? I'm not working until my truck's fixed because I can't do it because I can't do it out of this office. Or you have to figure out how to make it happen. And it's not always easy, but it's uncomfortable. And it gives you the reminder of, is this the way that I want to live? Should I be okay with this? Should I do what I need to do? And so last week I decided, you know what? I need to take a little break. I need to get some sleep. My son has been waking up, which disrupts my sleep. And when that disrupts my sleep, I'm not the same person. And then you have a hard time wanting to talk or be that positive person because it's not easy, right? Being a positive person is not something that just comes naturally for me. And I've made that shift in my life. But if I can't be that for you, then I feel like I shouldn't be talking to you, which is, you know, it's kind of it is and it isn't true because we all go through that and you need to know that people are working through that. So I took last week off. I took a little break. I decided that I needed to get some more sleep. I took my alarm and I set it back to 5:00 and did things a little bit differently. Rested. This weekend, I've tried to rest all weekend. My wife has been working and she doesn't like that very much because, well, I needed to be doing more around the house, which I know that as well. So if you guys are joining me for the first time, you can head over to YouTube. The link is in my bio as well. To get into the conversation, I do have this up on TikTok as well. And I see your guys' comments over there, but I spend a lot more time looking at the camera over here. Well, not really looking at the camera, looking at the screen on YouTube. So it's on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. But we have people in the chat room, and Sharon said, change the way we talk to ourselves, change from negative to positive. That is one of those things that you have to do. And I think that was probably one of the pivots that I had. It is one of the pivots that I had when I was starting doing this like 5 years ago. I thought to myself, and again, repetitive to some of you who've been here before, but I've always been the person that the glass is half empty. I was. In the past, that's who I was. The glass was half empty. And being that person made me realize that everything that I thought of was negative. So I could never really think of the positive outcome unless it came. And I thought, you know what? If I did that, if I was expecting the worst, but the best happened, then I would feel better about it because it was cool. I got something that I wasn't expecting. And I realized that way doesn't really make me happy. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. And so I started to realize that if I was trying to put the good out, and I was doing it anyway, but I was just thinking of it as half empty. I was putting the good out. I was doing everything I possibly could. I was still the hardworking person that I am. I just didn't think about it the same way. And that changed my whole thought process because when you can think of something negative being positive or negative in your mind, it's all in your mind, right? Andrew Bird on TikTok. I haven't seen him in a long time. I should probably go back and look, see if I can find him. But he's this guy who's like, he always says like, all right, take a deep breath, drop your shoulder. Like he talks about like trying to rethink of things. He was talking about his power bill. So we have a power bill, right? Like if you live in a house, you have a power bill. You have to pay the bill to keep the lights on, right? And we think of that as a negative thing because it costs us money. It's something that we have to spend $1 on or $2 or hundreds of dollars on every single month. And you would rather spend it somewhere else, right? So you look at it as a negative thing. Well, think about what it provides for you. So flip that scenario and think about what power provides for you. What does it provide for you? It provides light so that you can see when it's dark. It provides power to turn on your furnace. It provides power to keep you warm, to cool you in the summer. Just like your house, it does cost you money, but it provides you shelter, a place to live. And if we think about it that way, if we flip the way that we think about it, it can change the whole way the scenario is, right? And that's the same thing with your language. As a PE teacher, when I used to be a PE teacher, I used to have these little kids come up to me in elementary school and tell me that they couldn't do something. I can't make it in the basket. Like you're playing basketball, I can't make it in the basket. Changing that language is as simple as I can't, but changing it to I can't make it now, or I will keep practicing and get better. Like what you have to tell yourself in order to keep moving forward, right? You have to change the way that you say that. And that's a simple abbreviated way to say it. But the little kids that I taught, like in elementary school, felt that way. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And when you keep telling yourself you can't do it, you're not going to do it. If you change it to I will do it, I can't now, or I can't now, or I will do it. I can't do it now, but I will be able to if I keep practicing. Just changing a simple statement that you say, and it's a tough one because that's not how you're wired for some reason. And I'm going to leave you with this, okay? Well, I'm going to read what Sharon just said. They're dropping really good stuff over on YouTube in the chat room. It says when you hit a rough patch, you just can't shake it, or it's okay to take a step back and see the right path. And that goes back to, like we've talked about on here before, the hedonic treadmill, right? Or just the treadmill in general. If you think about like a hamster on a wheel, right? Which is obviously you guys seen a hamster on a wheel. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, there's a hamster on a wheel and all he's doing is staying right where he's at. He's not going anywhere. What can he do? Does he just need to keep running on the wheel and get nowhere? Or could he step off and start going forward? We sometimes need to take a step back to take a step forward. And I don't necessarily know that it's a step back. I feel like it's more of like a sidestep, right? So like getting off of the wheel and moving over and just taking a little break, and that's where I'm at right now, can get you where you need to go. Okay? So something to just think about. It's never the end. You may have to just pivot. You may have to just move aside and go a different direction, but you can always reach that goal. It's going to take a lot more work maybe. And that's something to learn. Like it's not like it's going to just happen automatically every single time. Okay? Oh, I had something else I was going to talk about, but I'm not trying to think of what it was. I get lost in a train of thought and start thinking about that. Exactly. Slide turn of the wheel can get you out of the rut. Anyway, that is what I've got for you today. I want you to remember that. That's what I was going to say. Finding those people as well, connecting with those people. I have a person that I follow on TikTok that was talking the other day about posting on TikTok, right? When I first started TikTok, and it was funny because I had a post that came up and said that I'm like this far away from 10,000 followers. And it was a year ago because it was like on this day or whatever. And I look at where I'm at now on TikTok. I have 23.5K followers on TikTok. So another 10.5K followers, right? Now I think that number is probably a little inflated because there's probably half of those are bots because TikTok doesn't really take care of the bots very well. But when I started posting, there was a lot of people, when I would say some of the things that I'd say, would come after me and make fun of me or tell me I was stupid. I got one yesterday on Instagram. I posted a video of, on YouTube. I posted a short, and a guy goes, he was talking about, because it was a short from One Drink Wednesday, which if you guys haven't followed that yet on TikTok, make sure you go follow One Drink Wednesday. That's my other page that I do a live on Instagram once a week. Anyway, I posted a post of Jake Rose from New Medicine was on One Drink Wednesday with us. And I make these clips on Opus and I just post them to that page. And one of them was with Jake Rose coming on there. And a guy commented, he's like, and this is, I'm going to give him what he wants right now because he wants attention is all he's looking for. But he's like, you guys should just record each other taking dumps on camera and send that out. And I was just like, man, how miserable is that guy? And that's a totally different thing than what I used to say. But how miserable is that guy that he saw this minute clip and decided to take his time to type out a comment and troll someone? Now, I would have 2 years ago, 3 years ago, been like really sad. That would have bothered me. It would have made me really upset that he said that. But the reality is that he has really got something wrong with himself. He is really hurt. He's been hurt by someone. He's afraid to do what I'm doing. He's afraid to do what we're doing. He's afraid to put himself out there. And what happens is you get lost in that rut because people like that will attack you on TikTok. And it was funny because the first year, that's the way it was. The reason that I have as many followers that I have is that at one point I posted this viral. It went viral. Like, I don't know. It got over 100,000 views where I was talking about my age. And it said, tell me you don't look your age without telling me you don't look your age. I'll go first, 42. With me, my perception of what I saw was that I looked like I was younger than I was 41 at the point. I'm 43 now. But I said, I figured I don't look that old. Well, everyone came after me and was like, who's lied to this guy? He looks like he's 50, blah, blah. Just started going after me. And my first response was to start responding, to start going after these people who are going after me. It got to the point where I shut that post down with no more comments because I was not going to allow I wasn't going to let those people see it. And then there was people who came back and apologized. I thought you were joking, blah, 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 whatever. But perception versus what actually it is. So there's a lot of these people around here and they will do those things and they will come after you because they're jealous of you, because they don't want to do it themselves. But what happens is a person like me is trying to do something to further people, try to make them better, try to help them. And then you end up like, oh, I'm just going to quit. And so it froze me for a minute. That was it. It just froze me. And I realized that I don't need to worry about that. So like, what did I do with that comment on YouTube the other day? Deleted it. And I should have left it there. I should have just left it there, but I'm not to that point yet where I can just leave that kind of stuff there. But through all that came my connection with a lot of other people. Nikki, Sharon, there's a lot of people in TikTok. I can't name them all, but there are these people that just all of a sudden started coming to me to try and talk me up and try to make me feel better about that situation. And next thing you know, you have a whole bunch of more people in your corner that you didn't think that you had. And then you start to develop this group. And it's funny because if you can freeze, you can stop posting, you can delete your account, you can go back after people, but it's not going to work that way. It's not going to make you feel better about it. And I ended up having this group of people, this connection, this tribe, this family that I have now on TikTok. And so you have to just remember that no matter what you do, you have to be willing to get through that. And it's hard. But like, how many people are talking so much shit about other people that it's causing them not to post or causing them not to, respond to things or freezing them in their life or whatever? How many times have you been told that you can't do something or you'll never make that happen? And it stopped you from even trying because someone said that they couldn't do that. And that's the thing. You have to get past that. If you believe that it can happen, find the people who believe that you can do it. Be around them. Those people are the people that'll make you better and that are there for you. And I appreciate you all being here for me. I'm going to go. I want to thank Nikki. I want to thank Frank. And I want to thank Anna for subscribing on TikTok and Patreon. Michelle, TikTok supporters, if you guys want to subscribe, you can do that. It really helps. Like I told you in the beginning, I'm done spending money on this podcast. I think I've got enough in what I need to do. And from here on out, it has to become something more. I got to do things with what I have because I need to make it better and I need to make it make money. And if it's not going to make money, I'm not going to spend any more money on it. I appreciate you all. If you want to subscribe on Patreon, you can as well. And also subscribe here. Until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.